Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. Broadcasting to you live from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel studios and streaming to you live on the iHeart app and yorbamedia.com. This is the Women's Power Hour. In studio, Mona Lisa Como, and she brought with her a stunning guest, wonderful, wonderful person, Beth Goff, right?
Beth, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you. So Beth Goff is our first feature on the Entrepreneur Lightning Round. She is local here to Dallas. And Beth Goff is the founder of FurnishingVision. And she will talk about the company here in a bit. I also want to note one of the great things about her that she won't talk about is that she's also a fellow of the Aspen Institute and also the only woman in Dallas and from the that has that distinction. So welcome to the show, Beth, and we'd love to hear about what you just kicked off here. And your press release was this past week.
It was. It's been a big week for us. This week we actually rebranded and started a second line of business under the name Workspace Vision. So that was just released, I believe, yesterday.
So tell us about Workspace Vision.
Workspace Vision is a workspace and furniture consulting firm. And this actually, to really understand what we're doing moving forward, you almost have to take a step back to understand a little bit about the furniture industry as a whole and where the idea came from. As I said, we're a consulting firm, but I spent 18 years in corporate America working for a large brand. We were a furniture manufacturer, and I ran sales and distribution for a pretty large portion of the country. And in that, we're working with the C-suites as they're evaluating furniture. And when you think about the real estate expenditures and how people evaluate furniture, the life cycle of that could be 18, 24 months. Well, in that time span, they could be spending $500,000, $5 million, $10 million on furniture. And I realized towards the end of my life with this company that how people were looking at furniture was very antiquated, and the process really set it up to be more of a commodity. So I wanted to really change how people evaluated furniture, the products, the furnishings moving forward. So I left. Yeah, so I left and started a whole new layer within the industry.
And so this is unique in the sense that, is it the consulting piece that doesn't exist in the industry, or just the kind of the thought process of how they look at furniture from an office space or workspace perspective? A
little bit of both. Well, first of all, the consulting piece is new. If you're in the furniture industry, and in particular the commercial furniture industry, you either make something or you sell something. So people were very fearful of the big sales pitch. So you were kept at arm's length to really have the dialogue that would allow people to make the right business decision. So therefore, the process was that you would push furniture to the very end, and you would talk about that last right before they needed product instead of, and what we do, and what this is the unique thing about what we offer, is we start the dialogue around the workspace and how you outfit the workspace at the real estate event.
So is that part of, is that part of the, does the personality come into it? Because obviously a real estate firm and how they would want to outfit their organization may be different from a medical practice, from a web-based company to a social media company.
Absolutely.
Do you take all of that into account when you're helping them have the vision for their future? That
is specifically what we do, and where the vision portion of the name came from. What we want to do is get in with the end user. And you're right, Mona Lisa, the end user means a lot of things. And they could be a law firm, financial organization, marketing firm, technology company. So they all have different business drivers. That's where we like to have our initial dialogue, is not about furniture, but it really is about what is taking place within that organization that drives their business, and what is taking place within the real estate model, meaning is there a merger within the organization, an acquisition, are they downsizing, are they rebranding, what's taking place? And then how do we outfit that space to really enhance the business objectives? So if it is about attraction and retention, we put more focus on that. And who are their clients? Who should their employees be? Where are they targeting new employees? Or what vertical markets are they tapping into? So we start with that dialogue and then work into how should the furniture operate within the space, because at the end of the day, that's the human connectivity between the employees and their work.
Well, and most folks spend most of their time in the workspace. So how do you even get companies, in fairness, to even stay focused on it rather than going the normal run of the mill? Hire an organization, look at their catalogs, people vote.
Right.
I mean, trust me, I've been in organizations and that's the way we've done our vision for the office. It's been, let's vote on and take the best vote. Right?
That happens so often. So it really starts with the C-suite conversation and getting them to look at the workspace in a different avenue. And, the conversation is out there. I mean, Wall Street Journal writes about it, Fast Company writes about it, all the major manufacturers, they pump out millions of dollars of research every year. So the conversation's there. There just hasn't been anybody to connect the dots.
So the conversation regarding workspace.
Regarding workspace and workspace design and the importance of it, it's out there. But nobody has ever untethered themselves from a manufacturer to say, hey, I'm going to stand on my own. I'm going to represent you as your advocate and help you get through the discovery of what it is that you need. And then I take them through the evaluation and then actually through the more tactical piece of the furniture placement and installation.
Are women, because you have women executives and men executives, are women actually more progressive with figuring out that, you know what, this is a real issue that we need to deal with, because all these people are sitting in there and that their comfort, the way that they look at it. Because I was just reading an article the other day. You go to your office, it could put you to sleep with the wrong colors.
Oh yes,
well, it can
absolutely
do worse than that with the wrong chair and the wrong desk, the wrong setup. So are women more receptive to the forward thinking that you're talking about than men, as a general rule on this one?
They are, and it is actually a statistic that women are more focused on the workplace, regardless of what their role is within the organization. And it's ironic that the last guest was talking about, we've hit the tipping point of more women in the workplace. So that is actually, that demographic has been a major factor in how people look at the workplace and, how it feels, how it looks, how it functions, because women are far more in tune with that.
That's a really good point, because, Michael, you had mentioned it's not just workspace. If you're a client and you go to an office and you don't feel that vibe, you don't immediately correlate that the workspace and the aesthetics of it is what makes you not comfortable here. You just don't like it, right? And so it's interesting that you've put a focus on that. But back to your point about women probably being a little bit better on it, the aesthetics I can see, because women we do fortunately put a lot more focus on that. But is it still seen as too much of a softer subject, again, for executives, especially if you don't have is your challenge, basically what I'm trying to get, is it a challenge for you if you don't have women in the ranks that you're working with to convince a client that this should be an area of focus?
No, because I don't approach it from the design or the aesthetics. When I go in to talk with a potential client, I'm talking from, a high-level business perspective.
So an ROI, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's really how I'll spin it, is more from a financial standpoint. And it's tricky because we're dealing with soft costs, not about the design, but soft costs around productivity, employee satisfaction,
retention,
employee engagement, exactly. So those are harder. It's harder to capture those softer costs, but that's where the focus is, not about the aesthetics. And I'm actually trying to drive it away from the aesthetics of furniture, because that's where people completely get lost. Right.
Well, Beth, I'm going to have to call a close to this. We've got a hard break, but please, you've been a marvelous guest. Contact info for you for our audience.
Okay, so we just rebranded under Workspace Vision, www.workspacevision.com.
Great. Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Women's Power Hour with Mona Lisa Como. Holly is on her way to Hawaii for a vacation, so we'll bring her back.
Holly.
Aloha. All right, special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-PublicRelations.com for all their PR and media support. We'll be right back.